Welcome to Travel Talk. Today on Travel Talk, we're going to be talking about 5 travel habits you have that are draining your wallet. So if you're like me, you want to travel more, but it's expensive. You only have money to go maybe once a year if you have that much money. You don't have the money for $1,000 plane tickets, ridiculous baggage fees, airport taxis, and hotels that cost an arm and a leg to sleep one night in. And I'll tell you a little secret. No one does. Well, some people do, but we're not those people. And that's why credit card companies aren't going out of business anytime soon. So put the plastic away and let me share with you 5 travel habits that are draining your wallet. The number 1 travel habit you have that is draining your wallet is traveling when everyone else is. So the law of supply and demand says that as demand increases and supply does not, the price will also increase. You have more people, more demand, more money. If you want to fly out on a Friday, just like everyone else after work, it's going to be expensive. You want to come back on a Sunday so that you can be home in time to wake up for work on Monday, it's going to cost you. A better plan is to take an extra day, come back on Monday. If you can afford it, go 2 extra days, come back on a Tuesday. You'll save hundreds on your plane ticket that way. Flying in on a Tuesday or a Wednesday, or even leaving on one of those days is so much cheaper than any other day. Or leaving on a Saturday instead of a Friday. Or even a Sunday. Leaving on a Sunday is pretty good too. Or you can cut your trip short and come back on Saturday. That'll shave off a little money as well. What I'm trying to get at is that weekends are very heavy traffic days, and you will run up your travel bill very quickly by traveling when everyone else does. And I know that it may not be as convenient to travel on a Tuesday or a Wednesday, especially if you work 40 hours a week. But if you're able to, your bank account will thank you. The number 2 travel habit that you have that is draining your wallet is that you are not flexible on location. Location, location, location. We hear it all the time. That's what matters. And that's true. You can end up in a very expensive location, paying a very premium price for that experience, or you can start off your trip in a little bit less popular place, still end up in your same destination, and save a lot of money. We all have our dream location, our bucket list of sites and cities, and sometimes direct flights to those locations come with premiums as sky high as our daydreams about them. So be flexible. Land at another location. Make it an extra leg of your trip, and then calmly and cheaply make it over to your dream location. It isn't uncommon for me to just open up Google Flights or go to kiwi.com and just look at the map and see what's cheapest next to the places that I want to go, and then fly there instead. And take another plane, or if I'm able, a bus. For example, last New Year's, I went to Amsterdam, and I also felt like going to Hamburg. So I just got on a bus for $20, and the bus took me 6 hours over to Hamburg. Very cheap, very easy. It was excellent. I would absolutely recommend that. The flight to Hamburg, it was much more expensive than the flight to Amsterdam from LAX at the time. In fact, that's why I flew to Amsterdam, because it was the cheapest flight into Europe that I could find. I actually had no plans to go to Amsterdam until I saw that that flight was cheaper than all the others, so I just went. That's also how I ended up in Barcelona with a ticket that cost well below $500 and a trip that didn't break over $1,000. Rigidity costs. Be flexible and have adventures you never even considered. You'll save money and have a better time than anything you could have planned by the minute. The 3rd travel habit you have that is draining your wallet is that you use airport taxis and shuttles or Uber or some other form of travel to get from the airport to the city instead of using the metro or other public transport options. Honestly, if you are paying more than the cost of public transit to get from the airport to the city in whichever destination you are in, money is basically flooding out of your wallet. And if you must use some sort of private transportation from the airport to wherever you're going, the one that you should avoid the most are taxis. Do not take a taxi. They will bleed you dry and laugh at you the moment you are out of their car. I am guilty of doing this in multiple countries, but never again, except for those rare occasions when you have no choice like when I was in Cancun or Panama. It just wasn't an option. For example, one of the most egregious examples I have is Belgrade, Serbia. Yeah, I'm picking on you guys today. I know I talk great things about you in other videos, but today I'm picking on you. In Belgrade, I paid upwards of 50 euros to get from the airport to the city using taxis because for a time they did not have any public transport options. But the city of Belgrade developed one. Yeah, there's a public bus now that goes from Nikola Tesla Airport into the city of Belgrade for a total of $3. See what I was saying about bleeding you dry? Yeah. And I have never taken a taxi from Nikola Tesla into Belgrade ever again. And these days, those blood-sucking taxi drivers can't even get someone to ride with them for $5 to the airport. Also, I don't trust them. Here's a piece of advice. Never, ever, ever trust a taxi driver in Belgrade or Beijing. I once had a taxi driver take me around the block in Belgrade, drop me off on the opposite side of the street that I was just on, and charge me $15 for that. However, I would like to mention that in Montenegro, they were quite fair. I rode from the airport into the city of Podgorica for $7, and it was a very nice experience, great driver. It was excellent. That was the first and only time I've had a good experience with a private driver from the airport into the city. So good job, Montenegro. So take the public transit, skip the taxis, the shuttles, Uber, skip it all. Take the public transit to and from the airport in your destination. It will save you a ridiculous amount of money and you won't have to have any of those unpleasant taxi experiences. And only take the taxi or other service of that nature if you absolutely must. Because the only reason they are there is to take advantage of what they believe to be stupid tourists. The fourth travel habit you have that is draining your wallet is that you bring too much stuff. Stop that. Stop bringing so much stuff. You don't need that much stuff. I know. I used to bring too much stuff. I used to have overweight bags, extra luggage. It's not worth it. It drains your wallet, and you'd really just have a worse time because now you got to carry all that stuff with you on your entire trip. Especially if you're traveling solo. This is great because you can get rid of all of that dead weight. You don't need 4 pairs of shoes. You don't need a clean pair of pants for every single day you're going to be there. You don't need those things. There are laundry facilities in other countries, believe it or not, and if you're on a short trip, that shouldn't even be a problem. If it's a weekend, you can fit a weekend in a backpack. These days, I can fit a week into a backpack. So yeah, honestly, on a trip for less than 4 days, you don't need anything more than a backpack and maybe a small bag for your camera and your passport if you're leaving the country. So packing too much stuff, it's a terrible experience. A lot of luggage is not only cumbersome, but excessively expensive. I don't know if you have ever paid an overweight fee or paid an extra bag fee, but they are so expensive. If you're like me and you get the budget tickets, they don't even give you one checked bag. Yeah, those budget tickets I've been showing you, they don't give you a checked bag. You only get a carry-on. Otherwise, you're paying an extra $60 to $100 to get your bag on that plane. So don't bring too much stuff. And the last time I flew, when I went to Barcelona, didn't recognize that till I got on the plane because I wasn't really paying attention when I bought my ticket. I brought too much stuff. I had to pay $60 to get my bag to Barcelona. On the way back, I smartened up, threw out everything I couldn't bring on the plane in the cabin, and just brought all my bags with me and paid nothing to bring my bag back. I was very happy to have done that. Or an extra bag. I've paid as much as $200 before just to get a single bag on a plane. It's frustrating. I don't do that anymore. I will never do that again. Learn to travel light. Your wallet will thank you, and so will your bag. And the number 5 travel habit you have that is draining your wallet is that you cannot give up creature comforts even for one night. Now this one is going to be attacking your first world privilege a little bit, so prepare yourself. I know it's hard to give up a cozy bed and a private bathroom and the comfort those things give us, especially when we're tired from a long day of traveling, but that comfort comes with a cost. And it can be staggering. You will pay hundreds more per night by traveling in hotels, even those of the lowest quality. If you're traveling solo or in a small group, stay in a hostel. In most countries they exist. They cost between $10 and $30 a night, and they provide you with the basics you need to rest while you travel. And don't bother paying the extra $5 or $10 a night to get a smaller bed count in your room. You're still going to be sleeping next to strangers. There's still going to be somebody snoring, some nighthawk, somebody that can't stop talking on the phone. No matter how few beds there are in there, it's just going to happen. You might as well go with the big dorm, save as much money as you can per night, and it will add up over time. So just get yourself some earplugs, get a nice face mask, just knock out next to all those other people. However, unless you've got a large enough group to fill the room, then paying that extra fee might be worth getting the smaller room with less beds that you fill up so that you don't really have to share it with anyone else. That could be of value. And also, with that said, hostels are great places to spark adventure and create friendships. I've met so many people and have had so many unexpected adventures from staying in hostels, I can't even count them. The random folks that you meet in hostels are just so valuable. It really is a life experience that everyone needs to have. Hostels may be louder and messier and less comfy, but the savings and friends made along the way outweigh those discomforts by tenfold every time. And remember, room and board is the second most expensive thing you pay for when you travel besides your plane ticket, especially if you're coming from the United States. So being able to whittle that down by any amount will help you save tons of money while you travel. So skip the pricey hotel room and curl up on your single wide hostel bed instead. And those are the top 5 travel habits you have that are draining your wallet. But wait, there's more. One bonus travel habit you have that is draining your wallet is that you shop like a tourist. Stop spending your money in tourist traps. I'm not talking about iconic museums or seeing sites that all the other tourists have to see. That's different. What I'm talking about is spending money in those places other than the ticket of entry. When I went to Barcelona, the La Sagrada Familia, very expensive. Worth every penny. It was beautiful in there. Would I spend a single dollar in their gift shop? No. It's very important to remember that the street where every traveler is emptying their purse is not the place you want to spend money. It's not where you want to buy souvenirs. It's not even where you want to buy a bottle of water. So if you're going to shop, if you must have souvenirs, go where the locals go. They know how to get a deal that tourists could never find. In my own experiences, I make a point of bringing back only my pictures or something that is small, inexpensive, and functional that I can bring back and use either daily or, at least something that pretties up my room, like a piece of art or something. For example, when I was in Barcelona, I got a coffee mug in the Gaudi style for $8. I have it on my desk at work. I drink coffee from it every day. It was $8. It reminds me of my wonderful time in Barcelona. It was worth it. And that concludes our travel habits that are draining your wallet. Stop back with us next time as we start talking about my trip to Austria that is coming up in just a short few weeks.
If you like this video and you'd like to see more like it, please like, comment, and subscribe.